Our next speaker will be Dr. Rainer Kallenborn, the director of the Technical University Munich and the president-elect of IATOL.
Dear colleagues, dear friends, first I want to express that I'm very happy to be with you here. I'm very happy to be in Bangkok, in Thailand again, and I want to thank Thammasat University Library for organizing this event, and especially thank my good friend Srishant Sanshivar for allowing me to be involved in the organization of this workshop. Now, as the title of the workshop is Innovation Management, I'm not going to talk about innovation. I'm not going to talk about innovative projects, but I'm telling you a bit about, on different levels, about methods to encourage innovation, first on the national level in Germany, and then in my library. So to use an word from our famous German novel Faust, who said that let's walk first the great world and then the little world. I will tell you something about the national level, the great world of German libraries, and then give you some examples of my little world of the Technological University Library in Munich, where I come from. And to understand what follows, you have to know that, or what is crucial is that Germany is made up of 13 Länder, of states, similar to the United States. So we have a federal government, and we have regional governments for Bavaria, North Rhine-Westphalia, for Greater Berlin, and many other Länder. And there is a lot of responsibility and decision-making that lies within the regional governments and not with the federal governments, whereas most of the money comes from the federal government. And that's why, for instance, the decision-making, the responsibility for everything connected with research, with culture, especially with libraries, lies within the regions. So within the government, in my case, in Munich. Whereas when we, for instance, want to construct a new library, we get half of the money required from the federal government. But that also means that they want to have a saying also. And that's why we in Germany, we have two important institutions on the national level. The first is the German Research Council, which is a group of, especially of politically high-level professors who give advice to the German Research Foundation, DFG, and they have the money. And quite recently, say the last 2 years, the German Research Council set up a group asking them to investigate into the efficiency of the German library networks. Because in Germany we have 6 regional library networks. We have the southern, the Bavarian network, where my library belongs to. We have the northern, the GBV, where the center is in Göttingen. And we have some others. And all of them, or each of them, has a cataloging database. They have groups for innovation. They have group specialists for indexing, and well, this is kind of a multiplication of work, which, if we hadn't a federal structure, we might be more efficient. So we have 6 big databases. It's where, for instance, our catalogers in my library, they catalog into the database in Munich. And the similar database with a large overlap of titles in this database lies in Göttingen, and another one lies in Stuttgart. And that's too much work for the same thing. And that was one of the matters that should be investigated by this group. And so they came to some conclusions that it's not a good thing that, for instance, the services of the Southern Network only are open for their members and not for a Northern Library. Northern libraries have to go to their center in Göttingen. And the structure of the whole matter, of the whole German network landscape hasn't changed for these 3 decades, so it's maybe a bit too traditional and not efficient enough for today's requirements. As there's a lot of work to be done in cataloging, in just discussing with each other, so all the people involved, the library directors involved in matters of networking, they have a lot to do with everyday work, so there's not much time for them to be innovative, and that's bad on a national level, of course. And in many cases, the structures, even in one regional network, is not transparent enough. How is the decision making? That's always a discussion, even in our southern network. Projects are mainly focused on cataloging and search engines, and that might not be the focus our clients, the researchers or the students especially, need. So we have to adapt more to the needs of our customers. And so what were the recommendations of this group? As far as services are concerned, they recommend a division of labor in services and modularization of services, so that these services also could be open to any library. So for instance, if we had a national that will come up later, one national cataloging database, so we in my library could also join this database, and there wouldn't be any other requirement for a local database in Munich. So modularization of services. Yeah, cataloging data. We do not catalog into a WorldCat. We have our own 6 databases. Hosting of local library management systems. Already in Bavaria, in the university libraries, there is no more any server for local for library management systems. There is a big computer center in Munich which cares for that. So our server, although we administer partly what we need from our OCLC system server, our server is standing, the hardware stands at this Leibniz computer center in Munich, but not in the library or in our university. There should be more coordination of innovative service projects, because so far it's very often the case that there are parallel developments in network in the south or in the north or wherever. So there's not enough communication and not enough collaboration so far, and that should become different. And there should, of course, there should be more communication. There should be a national supervisory and coordination board. Well, that's what they recommend. They can only recommend. What else do they want? They want the reduction of the number of regional networks. Of course, I would like that too, only to have maybe one or two. Maybe not only one, because then we have a monopolist and then we have to comply. We have no choice. But it should be fewer. Yes, the budgeting should be performance-oriented. Super-regional regional budgeting for supplementary services. And they're already there. That's a problem. We have a federated structure, and part of the money lies with the regional governments. They don't want to give away their decision responsibility and their money to others. That's a problem. And how to implement all these recommendations? They recommend that the German Research Foundation should develop a support program. And that's what they did. So the German Research Council gives recommendations to the foundation, which has the money, and they opened up a new program called Realignment of Regional Information Services, focusing on data infrastructure and local library management systems, long-term preservation, electronic resource management, and research-related information infrastructure. And they supply 10 million euro, which is about 500 million baht, to improve our national networking, library networking infrastructure. I mean, that's quite a lot. And that's a work in progress. So tenders are just going on, and we'll see what projects will be handed in. One example I can give you is that one project suggestion coming from my region network in Bavaria is just providing a national database, so cloud computing for cataloging data. And we hope we get the money to realize that. This would have been one attempt to improve the library network in Germany, and to encourage innovation to make these networks more efficient. And now let me take you to my little world, to the Library of Munich University of Technology. And here you have some figures. For German standards, we are a middle-sized university, but we belong to the so-called Universities of Excellency. This is national initiatives, so providing quite some money for say 10 or 20 universities out of about 120 all over Germany, and because of their excellency. And we are one of those. We were one of the 3 first some years ago. So our ambition is to be very excellent and to climb the ladder of university rankings worldwide, where our president is quite proud that we are, I think, worldwide in Shanghai ranking, we are about 50. And which is, for German standards, quite a lot. And what do we do? What about innovation in my library? So we have to be innovative, and this is not necessarily the normal case in university libraries, because of traditional structures and limited resources. Normally, libraries of the size of my library or smaller ones cannot think of be innovative. They have so much to do with their everyday work to keep the normal services going, so lending and cataloging, indexing, that they don't have any staff, they don't have any time to think about innovation. All they can do is just take innovative products from others. Yeah? That's why also we have these regional networks. But some of our libraries can be innovative, and that's what our ambition as a library of a University of Excellency is. So, and of course, I mean, we are bombarded with new requirements from our clients and want to support them. And that's our job, to optimize information provision for them. Yep. And we have to be innovative. And libraries are in competition. That will be the case here, especially in Bangkok as well, where you have several universities. And in Munich, we have 3 universities. We are about 10 or more polytechnics. All of them have libraries. And students from my university can use the library of the other universities in the same way they can use ours. They can use their service and forget us. And of course, we do not want that. That's why we have to be innovative. That's why we have to optimize our services. And that's our ambition. But the last few years, I don't know how it is in your libraries, last few years it's always the case that the ideas came from the management. I had some ideas what we could realize, bring into being my libraries, and my colleagues already began to tremble. What does he bring back from the next ITIL conference? Which new ideas? And we have to realize these ideas, to bring them into being. But that's not enough. Neither me nor the heads of department have that overall and all-encompassing knowledge of what is important, that we thought it necessary to involve in, so at best, all of the stuff. I mean, they have ideas, and they should be involved in the further development of the library. That was our idea. That was our conviction. And we had, so far, at that time, we had no real systematic workflow for implementation of innovative ideas. Maybe someone came up to me from our staff and told me, oh, we could do this and this. And we tried to follow that, but we did not have any systematic workflow, meaning our innovation was not effective, it was not professional. And that's what we tried to change. And also it was the case that in the library management we discussed many new projects, but it was not possible. You can do whatever you want. You cannot reach, with your communication, with your information, you will never reach all of your target group. And so it came down to it that the staff thought they're discussing so many things, and we have the burden then, and we would like to know what's going on in their discussions. And we meet every week. The library management meets every week. We have a jour fixe, and they would like to know. And that was very bad at that time, maybe 2 years ago. Very bad for the working atmosphere. And that is important, to keep up the motivation of all, because all of them are concerned. I mean, each of us works 8 hours and more in the library. That's quite a part of our conscious life, and we should be happy about what we do. We should feel good. And how to do that? So we wanted to implement a strategy to be more efficient in innovation. How did we do? And even in our mission statement, we have library profile, which would be the next step, or even more specific, our strategic plan. There are announcement statements about innovation, that we want to be innovative, that we want to be part of the further development of library services in the world. So what did we do? Already almost 10 years ago, similar to Camaria's library, we introduced quality management based on ISO 9001, at that time 2001, now 2008. And then there came up the question, well, isn't that innovation management? So we made our own definition. What is the responsibility of innovation management, and what is the part of quality management? And so for us, we define it that quality management is concerned with services already existing, improvement, optimization of services already existing, implemented in the library, and innovation management is concerned with introducing services we do not yet have. So this is all the framework for improvement of our services. And that's important because we have quality management officer you have to have according to ISO 9001. And what we introduced, I think Elisha mentioned it already, what we introduced was an innovation management officer. That was the first thing to do. And we have this position since April 2010. And she, and my paper is a joint paper with Katrin Daum, who is our Innovation Management Officer, and she's responsible for chairing the innovation team. It's not only her who is responsible for our ongoing work in innovation, but a whole team. And she developed, of course with others, with me, with others, a workflow for innovation I'll show you in a moment. And we have an innovation block for communication. If someone has an idea, it can be written down and communicate to the rest of the library. And she's also my assistant for everything related to library development. I have another assistant, and these two help very, very much. Another assistant who helps me with anything connected to everyday work, to the routines, but she is responsible for supporting me with everything connected to development and internal communication. This is our Officer for Innovation Management, and she's very active. We have an innovation team since June 2010. They meet regularly and discuss what could be done. It's 14 members belonging to different departments. And they scan, as far as that can be done, they scan the world of information provision. They scan the web, looking for new ideas. You have implemented already, but we not, so we might take them over. And they read in journals what is new, what could be good for the requirements of our students, of our researchers. And then they report. First they report in including these ideas into the innovation blog, which is open to see and to comment on for the whole library, for all of our staff. And they explain new ideas at team meetings within the team, and then they report back to the library management. So meaning new idea. First it's presented at a team session. Then if this idea, for instance, just being active in, well, we had the problem that people, in the morning students come. We have only a restricted number of seats, of desks for students. And people come in the morning, just occupy a desk. They put their clothes there and go off, go to a lecture, and there's no one at this desk for half a day. And all other places are occupied, and someone is coming, well, there's a place, but it's occupied. And that's a problem. People complain, and now the team came up with an idea how we could change that, and they reported it to in the team session. And then it was taken over by to a discussion meeting with the management, with me and the heads of department. And either we take over, we evaluate this idea and prioritize and think about whether we have the money or not to implement it, and then give feedback to the innovation team. And if we say, okay, we should implement this idea, then we hand it over, we hand all over to the to project management, which we have also. But we have criteria for implementing a new idea. It should be added value for clients, of course. It should be feasible. You should have the money to do it. But because it's not only so minor ideas. And it should comply with our profile, what we have already. And in case of approval, as I said, the ideas, so the implementation is handed over to the workflow of project management, which we also have. And that's it. And already this has a lot of impact on the work of in the library. And that's the way it should not be. So, okay, let's be innovative. What am I to do? Because innovation also has to do with creating, in our case, of a new atmosphere, of an open atmosphere. And that is what I hope has happened in the meantime. We have to create a culture of innovation to be really efficient. We have to, in the optimal case is that all of our staff is highly motivated to involve everyone, because library is not only the management, it's not only the library director, but they are the specialists, I'm the generalist, so to bring things into being, so what we need as management is them. So workflow and all I've told you so far contributed to more transparency, openness. We had more communication, and we do have. But there are drawbacks, of course. What is needed is the honest support by library management. And we have to be careful, because just implementing such a workflow can result in ideas and ideas and ideas and ideas, but how to implement them. And we have to be careful not to frustrate those who give the ideas. If they bring in an idea, and then, in the end, with every new idea, they get the answer, oh no, we can't. So we have to be careful, not to raise expectations and then say, no, no. Then it's not honest. And we work on that. Incentives for the team could be that they get a day off, the whole team gets a day off, so we have them go to a restaurant for a day. We pay for all there, maybe for a weekend, and they can discuss about the topic of innovation. So you see, I'm not going to talk about innovative projects, but about our management of innovation. Yes, and of course, it should not only be those 14 I mentioned in a former slide, but the team, the innovation team, is meant to be a multiplier for the rest of the staff, so that everyone can bring in new ideas. And these ideas are not only are concerned with services for our clients, but also with working routines within the library, with a tiny aspect of cataloging or whatever, and that helps a lot. So this is just a picture of our blog, just to give you just an impression. Everyone can write down his or her idea, and so the whole library knows. And that is where we stand. Yes, it's an experiment. You never know what comes out of it, but if you want to be innovative, if you want to move, if you want to change, you just have to try. And if it doesn't work the way you want it, just readjust and prioritize. That's what we do, adjust workshop. We learn from experience and realign our objectives. And so far, it has been the case that anyone of the team just thinks about, oh, I would be interested in this topic, so let's see what's on the internet about innovation in this topic, cataloging or statistics. But it would be more helpful for me if I could give, for instance, if I could give jobs on a certain object. For instance, what's going on currently in the United States or in Australia in e-research support environments. So I give these tasks to a subgroup of our innovation team, and they make research for me. That is meant by thematic focuses assigned by library management. So that's not. So the queries they follow is not random, but it's focused. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you. Why innovation is necessary. Library nowadays, compared to the past, as far as I remember, let's say 10 or 20 years ago, libraries were a bit off their clients. I mean, you had to come to the library and you could lend books and things like that. That is no more the case. It's rather the case that libraries have to go to their clients, to their patrons, and in many respects we have to ask them more than before what they need and what their requirements is, and to help them just more in collaboration to bring about the tools for their needs. And that's what we want to bring about in my library. For instance, in helping them setting up an infrastructure for their research data. So we collaborate with professors in projects and help them to care for their data, to curate their data, and many other things. So we have to be more in touch with our clients, be it students or be it professors or the general public. Libraries in Germany are open to the general public, and we ask them, what do you need? It's their money. I mean, we work on tax money, and so we have a lot of responsibility, and we are very careful how to spend this money for our clients. Oh, it's a wonderful workshop. Apart from the fact that I love Thailand and I've been here for many times and have friends here, I'm very happy to cooperate with Thai and other Southeast Asian libraries. I mean, we can support each other. Maybe in some respects, especially in my library, which is very dynamic and innovation oriented, we are a bit farther than some other libraries in some respects, but in other respects you might be able to support us. And so, as we have to be more efficient than we had been in 20 or 30 years ago, that can only be done by collaboration. And that's why a workshop like this, to trigger, to encourage international cooperation, is so important. To exchange ideas or our opinions of what to give you some ideas. We have different countries and cross-country cooperation.
Some Thammasat University
Has own catalog.
Everybody have to catalog the same item.
so that field networks exist. Yeah.
And take turn to host the conference.
Now, Dakman is at a trade because the man is in Germany.
If we run a conference,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, maybe I should introduce myself. I'm Nelly Sani from Brunei. I was the former chief librarian of University Brunei Darussalam, which is our national university. I'm now the president of our Brunei Darussalam Library Association, and I'm also helping with the Brunei Polytechnic, which is a recently established educational institution that is doing library science. We call it information science. It's a 1.5-year course of library science in Brunei. So I am from table, I don't know, now maybe it's table number 1, because I have been told to come up first. Under the leadership of Dr. Elisha Chiwara. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Yeah, he gave us 4 topics for discussion just now, on Leadership Academy, Information Literacy, Quality Management, and E-Science. We talked, we brainstormed, and we talked about so many interesting things about Thailand and, you know, about each of our country and all that. And then our Dr. Elisha also told us a little bit about IATOL, what it's all about. So we talked about the membership, you know, the benefits of becoming a member, why we should be a member, what happens if we don't become a member, and that sort of thing. And he also showed us, you know, who are the members from Thailand, and I also asked who is the member from Brunei, and, you know, that sort of thing. So it was quite interesting, ice-breaking session. Yeah. We were talking about the collaborative statistics collection, which I'm sure all libraries collect statistics of some sort or another. Every year, for example, in Brunei, we are all crazy. By November, about this time, we will be already tabulating all our statistics, how many books were lent out, how many books were written, how many, you know, new readers became members, and that sort of thing. And of course, we use it also for our budgeting purposes. And when we want to request for new buildings or new space, we use also for staffing, we use that. So I'm very happy that, you know, IATOL has actually taken this as one of the elements for collaborative maybe project. And in fact, just now we were talking, maybe we should also have a workshop building a common platform here in this region, because Dr. Elijah was saying that after the IATOL conference in South Africa, he's running a workshop there. So we were asking, why not also in Asia, in this region? Because, you know, I think it'll be good to know, to take statistics seriously and to be led and facilitated by experts, so that we really appreciate the value of statistics. So it's not numbers that we collect every year and we put in our file and we put it out when, you know, our boss required or our minister requires some statistics, then we only produce it. But now I can see how important it is. If we do it the correct way, then, you know, it'll become a very useful tool for librarians. And then we also talked about the format, what sort of format we should use in collecting statistics, and Dr. Elijah also showed us, well, indicated that you can also use the UNESCO format, and there's also an ISO format that, you know, we could sort of follow and adapt to our needs. And then we also asked him about what other collaborative projects that had been done before, and he mentioned about the cross-country sort of bilateral staff attachment and exchange. So I hope you'll continue, Dr. Elisha, because I will be very interested in this staff exchange. Because, you know, from one region to the other, you can learn a lot when you're on attachment. And then I also asked him about the Leadership Academy, which I think also is very important. I know in Brunei there's a Leadership Academy for young professionals, emerging leaders. This is run by the government and is coordinated by our National University. It's a one-year program where the participants would travel to the ASEAN countries. They stay for a month in, say, Singapore, and they do a project, and they come back and report, you know, the findings and all that. And then another group would travel again, maybe to Thailand, and also do the project, or to the Philippines, and then, you know, they come back and produce. So we have already produced quite a number of very successful leaders, young leaders in the government service now. So we're very proud of this, because when I was the Chief Librarian at University Brunei Darussalam, we conducted the information literacy program for them. And these are the elite group of young emerging leaders. And then we talk also about information literacy. Again, of course, all universities do information literacy of some sort or another. We at the University of Brunei Darussalam also did this, and when I was there, it was a very exhausting exercise. When you have the new intakes coming in, some of course have no library experience before, you know, they've never used a properly organized library, so we have to conduct this into information literacy program. But now we understand maybe we should move away from that and do it as a web-based instruction instead, so that, you know, students can at their own leisure go into the web and, you know, do the exercise there. And I understand just now from one of the universities in Thailand, they also do it so seriously that you cannot go, or is it Vietnam? They cannot go and, is it you as well? And also Vietnam, I think just now. Huh? Vietnam is not here now. It's gone. Yeah, they take it a little step further. If they don't pass this little exercise, they cannot borrow books from the university, which I thought was very serious. It's a very serious exercise. Cambodia and Vietnam, okay. So, and then we also talked about library publishing, because I'm interested on these books on demand. Again, I think in the earlier presentations also we saw 2 or 3 presentations on, the library becoming the publisher for books on demand. So I wanted to know, what are the challenges, and I was told it's an expensive exercise, but if you want to do it seriously, then, this is the thing to go about. And then we also talked about the students, the graduates of library schools now not wanting to become librarians after they graduate. They're not interested to become librarians after they graduate, So what do we do with these graduates once they come out of the library school? It's a very sad story, but it's a true one, isn't it? So again, maybe we have to look at this also seriously. We do a lot of training, we train them, and they come out and they say they don't want to become librarians, and their jobs are sometimes not as glamorous, as Dr. Elijah say, as being a lawyer or a doctor, So again, maybe this is something that we have to do, because when I'm in Brunei also, I keep on telling all my students, please do not put a label or a sticker on your forehead to say that you're a librarian. People will all run away from you. So call yourself information, specialist or something like that, yeah? Not a librarian, because you frighten people away. That's how that's like our experience as well in Brunei. I'm sure the other countries also have the same experience. So maybe these are the points that we brainstormed just now, and we like to share it with you. So thank you very much. And again, may I take this opportunity of thanking Thammasat University for inviting me here. And it has been a very interesting learning experience for me. Thank you very much.
I don't know, good afternoon maybe. It's still good afternoon. I think that it seems like we have a lot of topics in common when we discuss. It seems like we sit at a table. I don't know if we take from you or you take from us. And we do touch about the issue of, the status of the librarian in Thailand and, other country. And we also learn more about the Library Association and program in Thailand. So we talk a bit about that. And so I'm gonna share like something that our group have proposed that maybe IATOL can help us. But when we are discussing, we feel like it seems like there is no, we call like regional IATOL. So as far as we understand, it's like we see like international IATOL. So we do not have ASEAN IATOL yet, and most of our member table do not belong to IATOL yet. So we don't know what are the mission and the projects, the program. The program of the IATOL. So our president and Sly, the president of IATOL, have briefed a little bit about the IATOL and the membership requirements, so we learn about IATOL as well. And anyway, regardless all other things that we are not clear about, but we just want to do something as a librarians. So here are the proposed activity that we want to see it. The first one is inter-library loan among IATOL members. So hopefully that are possible. And the second one is at a conference, our member wish to see a research agenda which based on a theory, and then there are some case study of different countries that related to theory. So we have a common theory in general, and then we're gonna have different scenario and case of different countries related to that theory. So by that kind of research agenda, we will learn more, because like different countries may have different perspective or approach to the same theory, but may be implied differently from country to another. And the third one is funding. If possible, that we would like to have some funding from International IATOL to support the regional meeting. And again, about the statistics is also to support the statistic workshop, because we think that statistics is very, very important. Statistics can help us to make decisions. So without statistics, it's hard for us, to make a better decision. And the last one is, I think is very, very important, is the training for trainer, particularly to an area of we call research support activities, because many of our librarians may not have enough competence in research. So then they are not able or feel confident to talk to researchers. So for example, how can a librarian talk to PhD candidate or scholar? So in order to serve the need of those high qualified candidates, the librarian also needs to have some research skill, or somehow know how to provide the support to research. Yeah, and I think that's it for our proposals. And thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm from that table, the last one. My name is Waraporn Viyanon from Srinakharin Viro University. Actually, I'm not a librarian, so some technical term might be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me or help me out. Okay. In my group, we are talking about the problem that face, in libraries, mostly in Thailand. We have 4 issue that we discussed. Actually, I wrote around 2 pages, but we summarized just only 4 issues. The first one is a regional group. We should have a regional group, just like seminar or something. Yeah. And the second one is about information literacy, because every year we have a new librarian, and they might not have some experience, so they might not give some right information to the client or the user. So we have to train the user by create a project, probably name Train the Trainer. So this project we might have a checklist that what they have to know if they have to become a librarian, something like that. And also that we have to train the librarian for the new technology, because right now, as you know, right, the technology change every day. You have to learn new thing, iPad, iPhone. So you might need to, let them know this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you say, hey, I cannot connect the Wi-Fi in the library. So you might need to train them how to do some, learn some kind of like a new technology. And the third one is for the, probably, the position like you, for the deputy director or director, we should have a leadership seminar. So for this one, actually, you said that one publisher, Elsevier. Is that? No, not that one. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay. Oh, we should have some kind like a seminar for the leadership management. For this one, we should have some kind like for the training. Probably in English is okay, but for the discussion group, it's just like for like this kind, we should have just like let them discuss for Thai people, because we might have some language barrier. So if they know the topic that what they have to discuss, they just you just give them the topic that they have to discuss, and then let them discuss in their own language. So they have they feel free that they can share their opinion. Otherwise they feel, oh, if I talk to them, they might not know what I'm talking or something. And the last one is about the library space for learning and communication. In my group, they are talking about, right now, the library change a lot, because the print material might not be a lot, so they come to the library not for books. They just, come and, chit-chat, working with friends. So we might, manage our space for, one is for learning, for working together. And you suggest, right, in Singapore, they have just like 4 kinds. One is the quiet area. The other one is just like a working group area, so they can talk, they can make noise. And the other one is just like for the interaction area, so the client can, communicate with the librarian. And if they have some doubt, okay, they can share or they can ask the librarian. And the last one, let me see. Community or some exhibition. So for the library, we can make it just like, new things for everyone. They can come to the library just for, study, working, or they can have, just like kind of like a seminar group. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Well, I think all of that was very helpful feedback for the board, and we were discussing our strategic plan at our board meeting on whenever it was, Wednesday. And so one of the things we really want to know is what IATL members want or what new members would need in order to become IATL members. And I think it's helpful, although all this information is on our website of how you join IATL, it's good to be able to actually talk to you and show you. This is where you look on the website, these are the different sorts of membership, this is how much it costs. I think people were interested that the cost is actually quite low, and that's because we run a very lean organisation. We don't have a physical office, we don't have somewhere where we can go. The work is done by the IATL board and one of Rainer's staff who works part-time just to manage the membership. So we pay her to do that, and we also pay someone to manage the website. So we're a very lean organisation, but the real benefits of IATL are all the things that the members contribute. So hopefully if you're interested in joining, you now know where you can go on the website to find out how to join, and we'd be looking forward to having some new members. Of course, you want to know what you would get for your membership, and there is information on the website, and I think in our group we discussed in more detail what the benefits are. And some of the benefits are, we were talking about the fact that by being a member of an international association, you can take that back to your own institution, and it gives you more credibility with your academics and with your administrators. You can say, we belong to this international body that has a high level of expertise and that runs very professional conferences, and we are a member of IATL. So some of the benefits, we all have to find those ourselves and use them within our organisations. And I think certainly the board members know that that's one of the things. I know at my university, when I was nominated as president, my university said, this is good for La Trobe University, this is good for our reputation. And so they issued a press release to say La Trobe University librarian is the president of IATL. So we have to look for those opportunities as well of how we can market ourselves within our institution by saying we are a professional, what we do is based on a body of knowledge, and that body of knowledge is kept in the IATL repository and the conference papers and that sort of thing. Of course, a lot of that is available to people who don't belong to IATL as well, so you have to say, well, why should I join? But if nobody joined, we would have no IATL. So there are some extra things that you get by being a member, and that's reduced fees to attend the conference. But you can belong to the IATL list, and you can get the news alerts and you can comment on them. So there are extra things that you get by being a member. But there are some things, if your institution can't afford to join IATL, of course you can still benefit from our conferences and still attend them and still look at our conference papers. And we would want to share those with everybody. We don't want to just keep those for members only because we're librarians, and so we want to disseminate our knowledge. So it's a choice for each institution about whether I become a member or not a member. And either way, I think we've all benefited from these 2 days at this workshop with talking with other librarians from this region, whether we're members or not. We've benefited wherever our libraries, whatever stage our libraries are at, and I know what Imogen said this morning about the Australian government seeing this as the Asian century. So hopefully you've learnt something from us, but I know as board members we've all learnt a lot from you. And we want to thank you all for the contributions you've made to these 2 days, because it's been a fantastic experience for all of us to just learn where you are up to and to get to know you. And now we've got new contacts, and when you come to conferences we'll know who you are, and if we just email each other if we've got questions, then that makes it a much more personal experience as well. So I guess that's just a summary about IATL and joining IATL. And there were a couple of other things that, if the summary and outlook is going to go till 5 o'clock, let me tell you it won't. But just a couple of other things while I've got the microphone that I thought that I could take advantage of being up here. And one of them is to just acknowledge, as I've said, this is my last meeting as IATL president, and I'll be handing over the IATL president to Rainer. So you all know who Rainer is, and it's good when you finish you have a 3-year term being president to know that it's going to very safe hands. So thank you, Rainer, and I'm sure as a board we will all appreciate the things that you will do in your presidency for the next 3 years. So in a way, this is the official handover from me to Rainer. I'd also I've thanked all the speakers, but particularly the speakers, because you put a lot of effort into the papers, but all of you and your contributions. And I think having this workshop at the end has meant that we can all make an extra contribution, which sometimes when you're in a big room, it's harder to do, but it's been nice to just talk within a smaller group. And it's a very good way of building a workshop into a program like this, so it's not just about listening to papers, but then we can share with each other what we've learned and get to know each other better. And finally, I'd just like to thank the organisers at Thammasat University. I think you've done a fantastic job in organising this conference for the whole region. And I think it set a really good model for regional conferences that we might have in other areas in the future. So I'd like everybody to thank the organisers, and particularly Srichan, for the huge amount of work that has been involved in... Is she here? Yeah, yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah. So I think that might... Well, that's the end of my formal part of the proceedings. I should also thank my fellow board members because I've worked closely with the board. I've been on the board for 6 years, so it's a sad occasion to be leaving the presidency, but I will be immediate past president for a year, so still contributing with my board colleagues, but thank you as well for your contributions.
It's been the shortest today I have known, right? Let me thank you again for your sharing experience and point of view. They are really impressive, and my opening. Yes, and I hope that this is all you will benefit from this workshop. Yes, and I wish you a safe home trip, and I also hope that we will work together and meet again. Yes, thank you very much.